my goodness, Facebook. What did they do? What did they do? I guess they need to stay in line with Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams. That's right, Facebook just rolled out a very new feature called Messenger Groups, and I tested it out, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Stick around.
You're listening to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast.
Welcome to Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast. And now your host, Meliss Jakubovic.
All right, let's talk Facebook Messenger groups. Now, I love trying out new things in Facebook and being the first one to hop on the bandwagon. However, usually when new things roll out, there are glitches, there are issues, there are things that are going to happen. People are going to report things, and then eventually they are going to strengthen their ability to execute it properly, basically. So I tried out the Facebook Messenger group on the very first day that I had notification that it was active, and I wasn't that impressed. So for my Marketing with Intention group, we meet once weekly and we use Zoom. So I know Zoom pretty well. I've been using Zoom for 5 years at least, and I even got to do some marketing with Zoom back in the day, and my pop socket on my phone is for Zoom. So I'm really familiar with Zoom way before this pandemic, that now everybody knows what Zoom is. Everybody knows how to use it, including people in my dance class who are over 90 years old. So the whole world knows how to use Zoom, and my kids were homeschooled by their teachers during this pandemic, and they were able to pick up on Zoom rather quickly and, believe it or not, teach me some things that I've been using Zoom all this time and didn't even know, like virtual backgrounds and other really cool features. So basically, suffice to say, anyone from age 2 to 92 is using Zoom at this point, and it's really going to change the way we do life in this century. And therefore, Facebook had to hop on, or they would be way behind. I mean, just think about Blockbuster. Netflix came out and Blockbuster did not start their digital library of video streaming until it was too late, and that massive company went out of business. So Facebook is good for staying on top of new technology, but there are some kinks to get through. So Messenger Rooms are available from the mobile app as well as from the desktop. And you don't need to download anything in order to take advantage of this. So when Facebook starts pushing out a new feature, they put it to the very top. So if you open up your Facebook page on your desktop or laptop computer, you will see that it is showcased right up there at the top. It's even above stories, which says a lot because Facebook is always pushing stories. And the reason why they do this is because it's a brand new feature. They want lots of people to use it, so they're pushing it right up there to the top. So you will see rooms. Sometimes it shows a little circle with just the profile picture of the person. Sometimes it shows a big square, kind of like the stories. In fact, I have gone in here and looked up all these different features of the rooms, of Facebook rooms, and every time I go in, it looks different. So I know they're back there and they're changing a bunch of things over there at Facebook. And by the time you listen to this podcast, it may even look a little bit different from that. So I'll just tell you what I know as of now, and just know that things are always changing. So you want to tap on or click on create a room, and this is going to create a page for you where you can do a video conference with someone, and then you'll be able to invite your friends to join it. But here's the thing, anyone can hop into your room, even if you don't ask them to come in, you don't invite them to join. Now, sometimes this happens and sometimes this doesn't. So my guess is that this was the case. They got a lot of complaints very quickly right out of the gate, and they changed it over. But the very first time I used Rooms, I invited my friend into the group and I locked the room. So I want you to lock the room if you don't want other people to be able to pop in. So once everyone you've invited has gone in, you lock the room, and you can have you plus 49 other people in there. So it's a great way to see friends online that you haven't seen in a while through Facebook, or maybe just connect with your whole family in one sitting, whatever it is you want to do. But if you don't lock the room, other people can pop in, and that's a scary thing. Also, it is not encrypted, just like WhatsApp is encrypted. And WhatsApp is owned by Facebook and all those messages are encrypted, but the messenger rooms are not encrypted. What does that mean? Well, I don't really know exactly, except that information can be shared somehow. I'm not sure how, but it is not encrypted. So you need to lock the room. So when I tried this the very first time, I invited one friend. My friend came into the room and then I locked the room. And I had another friend who told me they got a notification that I started a room to see if they wanted to pop into the room. My guess is Facebook did this when it first rolled out so that people will see that their friends are using rooms and encourage them to use rooms as well. But now I tried it out again today, and once I locked the room, it didn't show anything as far as I know for other people to get into the room. So just a disclaimer there, get your people in and lock it up. And also it tells everybody else that we're getting into the room. So if you wanted to have a private meeting or you wanted to talk to someone that you didn't want other people to know about, Facebook isn't the place to do it because Facebook's going to broadcast that everywhere. So there's just a privacy thing over there. I tried screen sharing inside the Facebook room. Now, in my Marketing with Intention class, I'm screen sharing all the time. And when I screen share, I'm able to see my big screen, see all the people's faces, and also see what I'm sharing. Now, in Facebook, the person's face remains large, and what I'm screen sharing is at the bottom really small from my end. So from their end, they see what I'm screen sharing really big and they see my face really small. I have two monitors here, so it was fine because I was able to look at monitor 1 with, let's say, the spreadsheet I was sharing, and their face was on monitor 2 with the spreadsheet in the corner really small. And then I would just look at monitor 1 to operate through the spreadsheet. But if I only had one monitor, it would be really hard for me to see what I'm sharing and walk through it as well. So I thought that was a little bit clunky, we shall say. Also, not all microphones are supported, and maybe they're working out the kinks on that too, but we tested it today, my team and I, and it would not let them in if they were using a microphone that was not supported, and it was a podcast mic. I use a podcast mic too, and my mic did work, so just be aware that certain microphones might give you a little bit of trouble. Also, when you invite a friend, and this is new from the first time I tested it, when you invite a friend into the group, it wants to automatically post on your wall. So you have to cancel that and then go to that friend's messenger and click the link from the messenger to get them in, so that only the people you choose to discover and join your room will see the post. So when you click on create a room, it automatically sets it up that it's going to post on your wall. And there's no way to get into the room really. So when you invite someone into the room, let's say you invite Jessica into the room, then you have to go into Messenger and find Jessica, and the link will pop in there. Also, a little bit clunky, and I'm sure they're going to work that out. It's time to get laser focused this year and fill your group programs and one-on-one calendar once and for all. My 90-day business accelerator helps coaches and healers fill their group programs so they can scale their business, freeing up their time and making them more money than they made in the previous quarter. Visit go.melissmarketing.com/MWI, which stands for Marketing with Intention. See you there. Now, there is a long delay with these rooms. And I mean, that's expected that there's going to be a delay because the whole world is using the internet and these video streamings. But, you know, when I'm in Zoom, there is no delay. It is live, 100% live. The only time there's a delay is if I am streaming Zoom into Facebook, and then there's a 30-second delay. Or same with StreamYard. If I'm using StreamYard to go live, then I'm going to experience a 30-second delay because it's a third party streaming into Facebook. I was really surprised and disappointed to find out that using messenger rooms in Facebook, it's native to Facebook. It isn't a third party, and there was a 30-second delay. And the reason why I knew this is because when I tested this out with my team today, I was on the phone with my team while testing out the messenger room, and there was a 30-second delay between what I heard on the phone and what I heard in the room. And I was disappointed to hear that. Also, you can join the room by clicking the button that says say hi. Now, like I said, this keeps changing. So this morning, everybody's messenger room was their face in a square that looked kind of like a story, and below it, it said say hi. You click on say hi and you start a room with them. Now I go on, it's been 12 hours later, and everybody's face is a tiny, tiny little circle like a profile picture, and you just click on it. So this may change for you. But when I did click on say hi, it created a pop-up window, and I wasn't able to move the pop-up window. I wasn't able to maximize it or minimize it. And it took up, if we were to cut the monitor into 6 equal parts with 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, that window took up the second space on the top half. I hope that makes sense. So if you were, it was the top half of the monitor and in the middle, and it was just stuck there. I couldn't move it. I couldn't shrink it. I couldn't make it as big as the whole screen. And I really didn't like that. But if you copy the link to your room, you can open it in a new window. And that's the way I recommend doing it. It was easier to do. And then you can also use other parts of Facebook at the same time when you have it open in another window. So you could scroll your Facebook news feed while also being in the group, or even share it. And also, just to note, your meeting room is going to be different each time. At first, I thought the link was the same because I had used the same link more than once and it got me into the room. But while we were testing it, we realized that the URL does change and the previous URL does expire. So you can't use the same link and say, hey, hop into my room and send it to everybody at different times like you can in Zoom. You can have your personal meeting ID, and that's your ID all the time, or you can make a different one for each meeting, and you have the choice in Zoom. And here in Facebook Messenger rooms, you can't. It's a different link every single time. So it's not something that you can schedule. It's not something that you can set up a meeting. It's more like, hey, want to hop on? Let's do it now. So this is Messenger Rooms. These are my thoughts on it. Of course, it's all subjective, but these are my thoughts, and I probably won't be using this feature too often unless they do some major overhauls and updates that make it a little bit more user-friendly, and I'm sure they will get there, but now it is not the best feature. Now, if you're not using it for business and it's just like, oh my gosh, there's my friend from middle school, let's hop on and say hi for a second. Sure, it's probably fine. You don't need to screen share. It doesn't matter if there's a delay. So, take this all with a grain of salt, but I'm very excited that Facebook hopped on the bandwagon and wanted to, be a part of this new innovative way of communication. And I love that they stay on top of it all the time and they're always innovating. So way to go, Facebook. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on how Facebook Messenger groups are working for you and how you plan to use them as well. All right, I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Tips with Meliss podcast at www.marketingtipswithmeliss.com.
Hey, coaches and healers, it's time to feel supported in your business. Head on over to our free community to get access to my best resources for free. I'm talking marketing tips, business strategy, feedback, and so much more. Join now at magneticmarketingmastermind.com. See you there.